Alright, welcome back to How to Create Hero Concepts. Today we're going to be talking about shield types, looking at Darwin, role protector, playstyle defense, description teacher. We'll get to his backstory in a minute, but first we have to talk about his shielding because all of his abilities are shield based. So we're going to be talking about the different types of shields that you can put in this type of game. As we said, protector is a defensive DPS character. Playstyle defense means it's most likely it's a backline character that's going to stay near the objective to defend it, just in case they break through all of their other teammates and get to the objective. So Darwin's going to be by the objective, defending it as the last line of defense. His primary sharpener, basically like a pencil sharpener. If you've ever seen one of them, it's like a little wind-up gear. You turn the crank, it sharpens your pencil. Well, when he turns the crank, it fires out shrapnel. So, pretty good scrap weapon, kind of like a machine gun style, but it's like a pencil sharpener that shoots out scrap metal. So, pretty cool. His passive is passive shields, gain 50 passive shields for doing damage. So if he does damage, he gets an extra 50 health from 50 shields. But now let's get into the types of shields. So first we have movable desks. He places a desk that can be moved. So it's a shield that an ally can move. So let's say he puts it in the center of the choke. Let's say an ally needs to protect the side path. He can move the shield. Any ally can pick up the shield and move it and block another path of their choice. So when Darwin places down a movable shield, it can be moved by other allies to be placed in better locations. Let's say he messes up and places it facing a wall instead of the choke. Well, an ally can just move it and place it where in front of the choke. So a movable shield is just a shield that can be moved by anybody else to be put in a better position. And he has got 4 of them. They're not as defensive as the blackboard, which we'll talk about as a bigger shield, but they're still they've got some health. In case of point, the blackboard is an immovable shield. It's just a barricade. Just place down the shield and it blocks damage. All these shields block damage, but the blackboard is just a shield that has more health and is not movable. If I was going to make a movable shield versus a non-movable shield, I'd make the movable shield have less health because it already has the advantage of being movable. Most shields are not movable. So if it has the advantage of being movable, I would give it less health, just to make it more balanced. Books. There are 25 small setupable shields. So it's kind of like the blackboard barricade, except there's 25 smaller shields that can be set up in multiple locations. So it's like a panel like a couple pixels wide for each shield. So they still block damage, but there's 25 of them. So they're all very small when it comes to health, but there's still a lot of shielding. And then we have notes. Throw 50 mini shields that attach to an ally. So basically, you're healing up an ally through shields. You're giving an ally 50 mini shields, giving them 50 shielding, not 50 shielding, 50 mini shields so that they can block damage for themselves. So that gives us 4 different shield types. Movable shield, non-movable shield, setupable small shields, so just a flurry of small setupable shields that all block damage but don't have a lot of health, and then 50 mini shields that heal allies, so a healing shield. So that's 4 different types of shields. I think the main 2 are going to be the movable versus the immovable shields, and the only way to balance that is any immovable shield, any shield that can't be moved, I would give them more health, so it's balanced with the movable shield, which should have less health because it has both the added effect of being movable and a shield. And then his ultimate is just mute the match, so no sound whatsoever, which is a pretty good ultimate since most teachers prefer peace and quiet. So let's get to his horizontal stat block, and then we'll look at his story and recap the video. Alright, so his name is Darwin, after a famous scientist who discovered evolution. He's a teacher, and his role is defense. His primary is the sharpener, remember, the pencil sharpener that when you turn the crank fires out shrapnel. And since it's a projectile-based weapon, it's going to get the orange for manual. His passive is passive shielding, as we said. If he does damage, he gets some temporary shielding, so that is self-healing, so we'll give it the self-healing yellow. And then his abilities. We have the movable shield of the movable desks, the blackboard, which is the immovable barricade, the books, which are the smaller setupable shields, and the notes, which are the healing shields that he throws at an ally to give them extra shielding. The movable decks are traps. Well, actually, all of these are shields, so we'll just give them all the crimson, since they're all shields. Movable shield, unmovable shield, small setupable shield, and healing shields. And then his ultimate is just muting the map. So doesn't do anything, just helps him out. So it's just an ability. And of course his health is 200. Alright, so let's look at his story. I think it's a pretty basic story. I don't think I had much about him in the lore. An old teacher that has been through many generations thanks to his bionic heart. So he has a heart condition, fixed it with bionics, and now he can live for a longer period of time. He's had to protect his kids from school shootings. He's a brave man for that. Bomb threats, also pretty brave. Insane kids, and even robotic attacks, such as that actual revolution we've talked about. He's learned how to defend, not defense, minor typo there. Learn how to defend his classroom at any cost. I mean, yeah, he's got movable desk shields. His blackboard is a barricade. He can throw books that are small setupable shields, and he has notes that he can literally heal up his students with. I mean, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool teacher in my opinion, even though he looks rather stern and strict. Not my kind of teacher if he's stern and strict, but if he's protecting me from a school shooter, I'll happily take him over anybody else. Alright, so that's going to be the end of this video. We talked about movable shields, unmovable shields, setupable shields, and mini healing shields. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it. I'll see you guys next time. Toodaloo!